You know, most of the time when we talk about strategic partnerships, it's like an MBA bingo word, right? And strategic partnerships are kind of like the restaurant business. A lot of people talk about them, you try and get them going, but 90% of them fail. And this panel today is really about how to get them to work for you. And we have a great group of founders here that we're going to walk through with Avanlee, Christian, Sidney, and Naheed, who are going to tell you how they've made strategic partnerships work in terms of scaling their business. And so we're going to dive in right now. And Naheed, why don't you introduce yourself, your moonshot mission?
Excellent. Hi, everybody. My name is Naheed Kurji, co-founder, president, and CEO of Cyclica, a Canadian neo-biotech company, a technology-enabled biotech company that is industrializing the way in which medicines are discovered. On behalf of Cyclica, I'm also one of the co-founders and the current chair of the Alliance for Artificial Intelligence in Healthcare, the AAIH, which, if you just take a step back to the last panel, and we were talking about equity, health equity, the AAIH, obviously with artificial intelligence, if you have biased data, you have biased outcomes. One of our big missions right now in the data working group is all around clinical trial diversity, making drug discovery not about the one-size-fits-all, but dedicated and personalized to everybody. And to do that, you need a new mindset. So a little bit about myself and looking forward to this conversation.
Thanks, Naheed. Christian?
Hi, I'm Christian Pascual. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Medictor. We are in our mission to improve access to healthcare. In essence, we substitute Dr. Google in a reliable and a scalable way, driving patients to the right level of care with our artificial intelligence-based medical assistant. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Sidney?
Hi, everybody. CEO and co-founder of Dayor Devices. Our mission as a company is to help people with mobility disorders be able to walk safely, independently, and confidently at home. We do this by taking these research-backed visual and auditory cues, integrate them into a small portable device that can attach onto any cane, walker, or walking pole, and those cues allow you to stabilize and normalize your gait patterns and reduce risk of falls. Thank you.
Thank you, Sidney. Avanlee?
Hello, I'm Avanlee. I'm the CEO and founder of Avanlee Care, and our health moonshot is just want to change the way that the world cares for the elderly. And so what the Avanlee app is it's an app on iOS and Google, and it's for family caregivers, so those caring for an aging parent, but also those caring for short periods of care, so leaving a surgery, maybe somebody living with a disability, and we do everything from monitoring medications to doctor's appointments, all the fractured communication amongst care with adult children, and working on getting seniors what they need in-home, such as groceries and health and wellness products in the home to be able to age at home safely.
Thank you, Avanlee. So when it comes to partnerships, right, we at StartUp Health really believe that collaboration is how you move the needle forward in helping our companies achieve these health moonshots. And I think, Avanlee, maybe starting with you, strategic partnership sounds pretty ambiguous, right? Like, what does a strategic partnership mean to you? What makes a partnership strategic in your mind?
Yeah, so, you know, in the last couple of years, we were able to get in front of Walmart. And it was just a simple problem. They said, you know, what are you doing and why is this unique? I said, well, this whole story came out of my mom trying to care for my grandmother. I'm in New York and they're in Montana. And as we were in the pandemic, I said, you know, what we need the ability to do is get family caregivers access to just groceries and medications, health and wellness products in the home. And of the 10 people on the call, 7 of those people were currently family caregivers. And they just said, wow, we get it. And so, you know, from there, we were able to get a champion within Walmart and show them that people using the Avanlee app, family caregivers and seniors in the United States, we were able to get Walmart into the homes of people who were not previously using any type of Walmart service. And so essentially what we did is we said, hey, we can get you into the homes of family caregivers not using your services, and we are able to keep a senior healthy, safe at home. And they then kind of approached us and said, well, this makes sense to us because we know that so many of our shoppers are family caregivers. And so where we're at right now is we're in the process of going live in Walmart pharmacies throughout the state of Florida here in the early new year, for Walmart to reach a segment of their people that they haven't been able to prior to. So it's been it's been a really fast 2 years in terms of working with Walmart.
Thanks, Avanlee. So, Sidney, why pursue a strategic partnership? You're an entrepreneur, you're out there growing your business, you got your head down, you're grinding on product and MVP and all these different things. Why was pursuing a strategic partnership important to you?
Yeah, good question, and actually for a lot of different reasons. So when I think of strategic partnership, I think of a number of different partnerships that we've created, one of them being the distribution deal that we signed with McKesson, and on the other side, we have ARP as a strategic investor in our round, and then we partner with a number of different research organizations to be able to show the impact that our product has on both institutionally for what they can do for the research institute, but also for the end user, just in quality of life. And so there are a lot of different reasons for us to do it. But generally, it's improving credibility with research. It's improving market awareness with McKesson. Access, they do fulfillment for us. There's a whole bunch of different reasons for that. And then with ARP, it's really being able to understand and get access to our target population.
And how did you find kind of the brand halos contributing to, Deoro's own brand halo in market right now? You're partnered with McKesson and partnered with the ARP. Can you talk about a little bit of that impact on kind of, one, how you felt about your own business moving forward, but then how the market viewed you?
Yeah, I think it completely changes between us saying, hey, we're a startup company, we care about this problem, and we made this solution, to McKesson saying, this is a solution that can significantly change the lives of our customers, and so we're going to promote it in that way.
Awesome, thank you. Christian, how about you? Strategic partnerships, right? Again, ambiguous word, why pursue them, and how have you been able to construct one that was really valuable for the business?
So as a startup, we tend to solve small problems, not big problems. So we need to partner who is delivering healthcare to be embedded into the solution. So for me, it's all about partnerships with stakeholders in the industry. In our case, we announced recently a partnership with Columbia Memorial Health. And in this case, for providers in the US, we can provide with our tool a solution that can drive patients from their web traffic into visits into their facilities. And that's not only good in the business that this represents, but also the net promotion score that we get from the patients is really high. So it's finding this, how we can adapt our solution to these corporations that rule the healthcare.
So for you, being an international business, right, getting into the US market was all about securing that right partnership. Could you talk about that a little bit?
No, absolutely. And when you come from abroad, you need to demonstrate that you can drive value in this ecosystem, which is unique and different. And you always need this first client to show, these first partnerships. And then it's much more easy to convince others the value that you can provide.
Great, thank you, Christian. So Naheed, you gave your company intro and it was a mouthful, right? You have an incredibly cool business. Why pursue strategic partnerships? In fact, your business is really based on a partnership model, so it's become a fundamental part of kind of who you are. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, and I think in your question, there's something important to distinguish. You said strategic partnerships, but then you said in my business, it's about partnerships. Yeah. So for a second, let's just define the two. Notwithstanding that there is an actual accounting definition of what a partnership is, not going to go down that path. The way we think about partnerships is something that is fairly ephemeral. We're going to combine forces with a company to do something specific. Once that's done, we're kind of done with that institution or that company, or they're done with us. And so we achieve an objective and it is ring-fenced. Something that's much more strategic is not only part of that, but then also let's take some learning, let's go achieve something that we have not yet set out for, based on what we learned from doing this, can we do something better? Can we combine knowledge and data and information and capital to go create something that will mutually benefit each other's companies? So at Cyclica, we have an academic partnership program. We work with thousands of academic institutions globally, and it's generally on a project-by-project basis. Once that's done, it's not like we're trying to do something massive with that academic institution or the investigator at that institution. But then we have strategic partnerships, and I'll highlight 3. One of the first ones is with Chiesi Pharmaceuticals, an Italian-based pharma company that's one of the leaders in the respiratory disease space. And thanks to StartUp Health, which I think Cyclica was company number 40 in StartUp Health back in April 2014, so we've been on this journey with all of you for a very long time. Chiesi Pharmaceuticals made an investment in Cyclica in our Series B. So not only was there an investment and some interesting strategic angles there, but we also did some work with them. The second one would be a strategic partnership with Atai Life Sciences, one of the leaders in the psychedelics for neuroscience and neuropsychiatric disease. You know Compass Pathways and a bunch of companies in that space. Together with Atai, we created a company called Entheogenics Biosciences. And Entheogenics Biosciences, which we talked about first and we launched at the StartUp Health Festival in January 2020 in San Francisco, was to combine our respective capabilities, technologies, and visions to design a new molecule that could go down the regulatory path that mimicked the biological benefits of psychedelic medicines. So take this, what is known about it, and design new chemistry that could do that. This was like outrageously audacious sci-fi type stuff 2.5 years ago. And just yesterday at the Society for Neuroscience, Entheogenics published some really interesting work that will be press released today. The third one that I'll highlight is a few weeks ago at the Gates at the Grand Challenges annual meeting, Cyclica signed an important strategic, multi-year strategic collaboration partnership, however you want to call it, with a large institution that's, rhymes with fates, working on non-hormonal female contraception, a high unmet medical need that is disproportionately impacting women in developing countries, and my family is African, East African specifically, and you look at non-hormonal contraception, very underinvested. And so we at Cyclica said, let's come together. There's no commercial benefit for us. Let's put our technology, our time, our knowledge, our resources together and contribute back to society in that meaningful way. And the strategic angle is if we succeed there, then malaria and tuberculosis and leishmaniasis and all these infectious diseases that are rampant in developing countries, we can have an impact on. So that's how I would think about it.
It's amazing work. I think one of the things about strategic partnerships is, one, I'm seeing startups working with the likes of Walmart, McKesson, right? Really large systems that are bureaucratic in their nature. Like, how do you navigate it? So Avanlee, maybe we start with you. Like, I think there's a lot of people that want to partner with Walmart. How do you navigate constructing a relationship like that, not being bullied in the process, but really like negotiating what is a fair, equitable deal that really brings value to both parties?
I was just speaking with a very wise man prior to this, and he said, in terms of getting a deal closed, it took him 4 years, and he was tenaciously patient. I love that, tenaciously patient. And so that has kind of been what we've done with Walmart. We're small potatoes compared to them. They've got a million things on their plate. But what we were able to find really quick and right off the bat was this very just brilliant man who said, I know that so many people that walk through our door are family caregivers. And what we can't seem to do well is reach them in their shopping needs in the home. We know that, this boomer population, they're not coming into shop in store. We know that a family caregiver, if you are like this, like my mother, is leaving work, she's stopping at the pharmacy, she's stopping at the grocery store, and then she's picking everything up and she's going to drop it off for her mom. And just solving one simple little thing at a time and doing it really, really well has kind of put us in a situation with Walmart where we can just do these little milestones and keep going. We started with groceries. We started with taking the burden of, a family caregiver standing in the shopping line to pick up her mom's pharmacies, to just streamlining that in the home, to now I can do that at work. So when I do leave work, I'm going to be with my mom and spend genuine time with her. And so we've done it in little tiny bits. I don't know if you can ever fully close a deal with Walmart. I think you close lots of little deals and you go into different kind of parts of the company of where those caregivers are.
So a crawl, walk, run strategy.
Yeah, crawl, walk, run.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Sidney, how about you with McKesson?
Well, I think that Avanlee said something earlier today that I think is really important in getting to that closing the deal and getting to the right people within the company, which is really presenting the problem and understanding this is something that I care about a lot. Like you said, that I really care about, people that are caregivers for their parents and making sure that they have the food that they need, the medication that they need, whatnot. It was the same thing for us, right? Like we met with a number of different people at McKesson, sat down at the table with them and said, okay, we really care about making sure that people with mobility disorders have the tools that they need to be able to walk. This is something that's important and here's why we care about it. And then the people at the table, they might not be the right people to close the deal with. I think that's one of the biggest things is finding the right person to talk to at the company. McKesson's huge, right? Fortune 7 company. They distribute 1/3 of all the pharmaceuticals in the US. So they have a lot of people to talk to. But we sat down with them and we were able to communicate our mission and what we care about. And somebody at that table cared enough about that to get us to the right person at McKesson to be able to close that deal. And I think that made a big difference for us.
Finding that right internal champion.
Finding the right internal champion, but making sure that you're leading with your mission and not with, here's why you want to sell us. It's, can you get behind what we care about?
Right, so it's connecting on a human level so that they can actually relate to what you're trying to solve.
Absolutely.
Love it. All right, Christian, how about you?
Well, on the big guys that we have as clients, we have many in the pharma industry and also on the payer side. We have AXA deployed in 4 countries with them, and that was a huge amount of faith that for maybe 2 years we were working with them, and finally it happened that it became one of their strategic bets. During last year, they launched the digital healthcare platform with Microsoft, and we were one of the 2 providers. Well, I think we were the only provider that was common in all launching in all the countries. So, well, I think that you need resilience and you need to keep on dreaming that, yes, you will partner these guys one day. But of course, and you have a lot of different problems during the way, because even when you think that you are done, it starts the legal and contracting, and so. But you need to be resilient.
Thank you, Christian. Naheed, when it comes to your partnerships, you mentioned some pretty big names. How do you navigate to the right person and then structure something that is based on a spirit of equality and shared mission?
Yeah, 2 big questions. I love the term tenaciously patient. I think every entrepreneur needs that, whether it be in a strategic partnership or just generally in the business in which they're creating. I'd say some humility as well. My company is the most important thing to me, besides my family. It's the most important thing to me. But when I approach a multinational pharma company, I'm not the most important thing to them. So understanding what are the drivers of their decision making, who are the people that they need to bring around the table, what motivates each individual person there. The challenge with working with multinationals, there's a lot of virtues. One of the challenges is they rotate. People come and go. We have a strategic partnership that is 6 years in the making with a company who we codename internally at Cyclica called Never End, because the entire relationship is never ending. Like, we've been in proposals and negotiations. I have less hair today because of this never ending situation. But once it strikes, we never want it to end. And so it's all about just keeping your eye on the prize and making sure you're engaging with the right people that they're getting the information that they need to support a decision to go. The other part is internally then, making sure that your team understand when you're allocating those resources to go after one of these multinationals, you only have so much time in the day, and we're a team of 60. When we started this work with this never-end company, we were a team of 15. Many of them are still here, and they're like, this is still going? What's the purpose? Why? And so making sure that the team and the institution has the bigger picture in mind, that you are asking them to jump into a conversation with a group that may, in isolation, just seem like they're spinning your wheels. But if you have that bigger picture in mind and you can handhold the journey, I think it's an important part. But then also tenaciously patient, I think, is the right word.
So we're running out of time here, but I do want to do one quick lightning round because I think it's important, right? How do you measure success of these partnerships? Are there any specific KPIs? At the end of the day, if you're looking 3 years down the road, you're going to say, this was successful because we accomplished X. Give me the quick 30 seconds on it. Maybe Naheed, we'll start with you and go down the line.
Yeah, we talked in the previous panel about business models and like return on investment. For us, the return on investment is, I would give absolutely everything away, and my family and myself are some of Cyclica's largest investors. It's not about the money. It's not about the return on financial capital. Can we treat a disease? Can we bring a new medicine to a group of patients that otherwise, without us, would have very few options? That, to me, and to any investor in the room, and we're talking to a few that I can see, that drives us. René Descartes once said, I think, therefore I am. At Cyclica, we say, patients first, therefore profit. And that, to me, is the major KPI.
That's great. Yeah, thank you for that. Christian, how about you? Measuring success.
Well, I think for me it's easy. I like adoption. The adoption, I would like to see hundreds, millions of people using our technology within our clients, and that they are satisfied. The net promotion score associated with that.
Love it. Sidney.
If we look at the big picture, it's helping people walk, but of course we have metrics that we look at as well in terms of CAC, spend, ROAS, all of that. But really it's about getting this device to people to help them be able to walk and live their lives more independently.
Sidney?
Yeah.
Avanlee,
that's
sorry.
Okay. We're working with a group of people that are, pretty overlooked. And it's incredible that we're living in a time where a corporation like Walmart would look at someone like us and say, we're going to get behind you and help you meet the needs of people where they're at in life in the home. And, I think if we can do that here in this country and just continue to do that worldwide, that would be a huge measure of success. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Avanlee. Thank you, everybody. Please, a round of applause for our panelists.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for a great session.